often does the entire assembly on both sides vote something like this without anybody saying a nay?
You know, for us to come and vote unanimously in support of legislation, then we know and understand what our constituents want, what our communities need. And that piece of legislation creating the fentanyl task force is definitely something that our communities need. And unfortunately, I think the second floor, which is a code that we use and we refer to the governor's office, I think they were unfortunately tone deaf to that call from our community.
Where is this fentanyl coming from, and why? Why not the traditional drugs that we always hear about? Where did fentanyl arise from, and why is it so pervasive on our city streets?
Fentanyl is one of those drugs that unfortunately we are probably at least 5 to 10 years behind the times when it comes to that. We recently just passed legislation, I think it was last year, that it actually added fentanyl to that class of drug where it would be a felony and it would be punishable by a long term in prison. Unfortunately, we now are seeing the after effects and we're not catching up in time. Hold people accountable for it because it's a synthetic manufactured drug. And unfortunately, this happens quite often when we have drugs that are made by man. The reason why it actually was an issue was because it didn't fit into a category that was that could be prosecuted, and the persons responsible for dealing fentanyl weren't given the appropriate sentences. So that's where the tweak to the law needed to be made. There was something for controlled substances, but it was a lower level crime, so there wasn't real accountability. Now we're in a position where we can hold them accountable, and then it all comes back to what the district attorneys can do and the tools and resources that we give them.
Is this the perfect storm? You have bail reform, you have use all over the place, and you don't have prosecution of these drugs. Is this similar to what happened in the drug epidemic of a couple of decades ago,